Hello there. Congratulations. You have finally reached the end of this year's really long, absolutely exhausting, total shit show of an election campaign. As of midnight tonight, no one is allowed to campaign anymore. Billboards should be down. There'll be no more door knocking. There'll be no more public meet and greets, at least for the next 24 hours. There should be no more social media updates or paid posts. All of that has to be gone by midnight so that in theory you're not influenced tomorrow when about 1 million New Zealanders are going to go out and cast their ballots. And it's really important that you go out and cast your ballot. You see, while I might not necessarily agree with how you're choosing to vote, I still think it's really important that you get out there and have your say. If we want a truly representative government, we all need to get out there and have our input. And the way we do that is by going out and voting. For me personally, I have been absolutely shocked at this campaign. There has been some really awful stuff. The racist dog whistling is like nothing I have ever seen before. We saw an old dude literally walk into a Māori candidate's house and, I'm just talking to be mates. Who lets that kind of crap happen? It's not normal, and the media normalising it was not a good thing. In fact, the media this election is going to be looked back upon with a little bit of disdain, I think, because it hasn't done its job. It hasn't kept us informed. And while there is advice out there from Chris Bishop and Christopher Luxon that, just don't think too much about it, we're talking about the future and fate of 5 million people. What they're going to do for transport or healthcare or education, all of that is in our hands. Where the priorities are for spending, that's in our hands. And the way I see it, we've kind of got two choices here. We can either go for a right-leaning bloc where one of the parties have plans for the economy so extreme it would see 15,000 people lose their jobs before Christmas. That would tank industries like our creative sector, which is worth the same amount as forestry. You've got another party there whose tax plan literally takes money off the poorest, most vulnerable New Zealanders and gives it to landlords. And you've got a third potential partner there who don't have a financial plan beyond we'd like to maybe pay for police to guard bathrooms so we can check people's genitals. Versus a safer pair of hands. It doesn't matter who gets in on the left-hand side of it. Labour, Te Pāti Māori and the Greens, they seem to be a much more cohesive group with a much longer-term vision for the country than what we're seeing on the other side. And again, this is just my opinion. They're not perfect. There is no such thing as a perfect political party. And you might agree with me or disagree with me, and that's absolutely fine. I know a lot of people disagree with me. They tend to send me very hateful messages. It's one thing I'm definitely not going to miss about the election campaign, but you still have every right to get out there and have your say, to go out there and vote, to go and say, this is what I stand for, or this is where I want the country to go, or this is what's really important for me and for my moko. Please, get out there and have your say if you haven't done so already. It is so important that every voice is heard.